pretty well. So bilateral trade crossed a £10 billion sort of
Yes.
threshold last year. It went up 5%. But I think there's definitely room for more. So I think what's encouraging is that there feels like there's momentum in the trade relationship. There are some big British companies that are present in Romania, likes of Vodafone, the biggest British investor, Unilever, the London Stock Exchange Group. There are big British investments in some very exciting cutting edge areas like green energy. So there's big British involvement in solar and in wind farms in Romania. But I think there's potential for more, and especially in the kind of digitalized and tech sector, I think there's potential for more. But I think it's also important to stress that the potential and the growth is in two directions. So we're seeing Romanian companies looking at the British market, and that can be anything from the leisure sector to the retail sector. I think it's been good, but I really feel that there is potential for it to be stronger, especially when you look at the incredible connectivity between our two countries. So the fact that you have so many British cities linked by direct flights with Romanian cities, the fact that you have growing university to university ties, widely spoken English language in Romania, and of course the Romanian diaspora in the UK. So I think it probably should be higher than it is, and that's why it's one of my priorities as ambassador to build on that good start and get the momentum going even better.
How you, let's say, comment this amazing situation? 30 years ago, 20 years ago, a lot of Romanian people left Romania and come here to work in UK. Right now, you have a policy. UK has a policy to attract Romanian company in UK to invest here. How you see this development?
Well, I think the diaspora left Romania in particular in the early years after the end of communism. And it's now grown to the stage where there's well over a million, perhaps 1.3 million Romanians in the UK. Of course, they've been vital in our service sector, in our health sector. But what you're beginning to see now is Romanians take over some important high-profile positions. So just in the last few days, we've had our first Romanian mayor in the UK. We've had the new president of the Law Society in the UK as a Romanian. And I think those individuals will sort of shine a light on the contribution that the diaspora makes. So I think the diaspora is really important and really valued. But what we're now beginning to see is a connectivity between our countries, in terms of businesses in Romania and businesses in the UK. So I was in Cluj last week, and it's a really impressive, thriving city with a great tech sector, fantastic universities, attracting talented, clever young people, training them in a relevant qualification, and then finding them a great job straight after. So it's thriving. But what I think we're seeing is that if you then want to take that business to the next level and expand it into a really big market, the UK market is just so much bigger. But then, of course, if you then want a stepping stone to a real global presence, the UK is one of the best places to do that and to tap into global markets, including the US market. So I think the diaspora remains a really important part of UK society, but the relationship between Romanians in Romania and British businesses in Britain is something that is beginning to really pick up speed now and can grow a lot more.
Your government has a policy to attract investment in UK. Okay, do you have some recommendation for our government how to attract investment, more investment from all over the world?
Yeah, I would say a couple of things. And again, I was talking about this with businesses in Cluj, and most of the businesses I talked to either already had UK links or were looking for UK partners or UK presence. So we talked a little bit about, if you're already doing well, what's the added value of a relationship with the UK? I think there's something around predictability in government, so that businesses know that the playing field is level, that the business environment is transparent, and that it's predictable, that the rules won't change. I think that's quite important. And when British businesses talk to us about investing in Romania, they do sometimes still say that it's quite difficult to chart a way through all the red tape. So I think making the business environment as simple and transparent as possible is really important to businesses. And another area which I've been working on a lot since I've been ambassador, is to try and eradicate those market access barriers that can put people off. And when I arrived in Romania, there was no None of them were like major impediments, but there were two or three small things that I think needed fixing. So we looked at the issue of VAT reciprocity between
Yes.
our businesses, and we sorted that out. We looked at the fact that our double taxation agreement needed to be updated, and we've done that. We're now looking at agreeing a new government-to-government deal which allows businesses to engage in tenders which require a certain security level. And that will mean that it frees up the opportunities for more business interactions as well. So I think predictability and transparency and simplicity in terms of setting up a business, but also eliminating those small irritants that can just sort of clog up doing business are two things that we've tried to focus on in the UK and that the Romanian government is definitely focusing on and making progress on, but we can still go a bit further.
Do you think Romania can be on the same level as Poland, as a strategic country in this part of the region, especially with the war in Ukraine, for Great Britain?
So I think that's exactly the direction it's moving in, right? So of course Poland is a larger country, but Romania is now the sixth largest member state of the European Union. Romania is the country that is closest to the fighting in Ukraine. And I certainly, when I look at the future trajectory of Romania, I do have Poland in my mind. And if you look at where the countries of Central and Eastern Europe have come in terms of their economic growth and their potential, of course, Romania started from further back. It joined the European Union a little bit later, but it's actually catching up more quickly. So I think it's absolutely got that economic potential. I can see the entrepreneurialism and the talent of Romanians every day. But I think, it's a strategic partner with the UK for a reason. And one of the things that strikes me is that since 2023, when we signed that strategic partnership, the relationship has developed a lot. So we now have a new defence treaty. We now have a new agreement on fighting organised crime. Romania is now a member of the coalition of the willing, supporting Ukraine. So I think you see real dynamism and momentum in the relationship, and it's a true strategic partner of the UK.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for your interview.
Thank you.